Welcome to the Women's Motorsports Network podcast, the show that puts the spotlight on the incredible women who fuel the world of motorsports. From drivers to crew members, engineers to fans, and everyone in between, we're here to celebrate the trailblazers, dreamers, and doers shaping the sport we love. Each episode, we share inspiring stories of females of all ages from every corner of the motorsports universe, past, present, and future. It's a journey through the seasons of life filled with heartfelt moments, laughter, and a whole lot of horsepower. So, whether you're a lifelong fan, a racer yourself, or simply curious about the extraordinary women behind the wheel, settle in, relax, and enjoy a fun and uplifting ride with us. This is the Women's Motorsports Network podcast, connecting and celebrating women in motorsports, one story at a time. Let's hit the track. Hello, everyone. This is Melinda Russell with the Women's Motorsports Network podcast. And I have a very special friend with me today. Lori and I have known each other. I was thinking about it this morning. Lori, I think it's been since 2018.
Yeah.
18 or 19.
I'm not even sure. I don't know if we met at PRI
We
or
did.
I think
We
it was
did.
that. Yeah.
So it's
Somewhere along the
been,
way.
it's
one
been,
of your young gals introduced me to you.
yeah. So it's been 5 or 6 years that we've been friends, and we've connected in Arizona, where you live in the winter, and I did too for a while.
Yeah.
We've connected in Iowa when I came to visit for the Knoxville Nationals, and we've been to English Creek together, and we've had all kinds of fun together. And racing brought us together, which is the thing that I love about that, is we would have never met had it not been for motorsports. So
Yeah.
I've made a lot of good friends, and you're right at the top of the list of those. So
I say God's good in that area, right?
He really is. And so you've been involved in all kinds of projects and occupations in racing, but we want to concentrate on this podcast on what you're doing now, because I didn't know a lot about it until you got started in it. And so on Flo Racing, I watch every time you're in the high limit racing area and you're working with Racers for Christ. And so, Lori, I want to talk to you first about how did you get involved with Racers for Christ, and what have you been doing all summer? Tell me how that's been going, and then what is your role in Racers for Christ? Just tell me all about it.
You're asking a lot of questions there.
I am.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start. Well, I guess first of all, yes, you're right. I've been involved in racing my entire life, from all kinds of aspects, from being a journalist with National Speed Sport News, to being on pit crews, to being in the marketing, helping sponsorship stuff. I mean, just a plethora of stuff. But, I never felt 100% like the Lord had me exactly where he wanted me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and last year, actually, where was it? It was a 2024. We were in Arizona getting ready to pack up and head back to Iowa for our whatever called 6 months back in Iowa, 6 months in Arizona. And my husband, Charlie, Charlie, he's a medic, and he's been very blessed to serve in several roles at different racetracks. And at that point, the plan was we were coming back from Arizona to head back to get settled back in Iowa, and where he was on the fire rescue team at Knoxville Raceway for many years. And that was his plan. He knew exactly. And then not on top of that, he also was already serving at a couple of NASCAR tracks and IndyCar tracks. So Charlie knew without a doubt his flying days were over. He was retired, because you hit that magic age. He figured out how to do life and where God had him. But I was coming back going, I don't know what I'm going to do. Nothing's working. I know.
And let's back up just a minute. He flew for Delta for a long time. He was a pilot.
It was originally Northwest Airlines. He started in 1979. And so he ended his career in 2021 when he hit the magic age of 65. You can't fly on your birthday, by the way.
Really?
And they did merge with Delta, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. So he ended his career there, but he had already been doing medic work.
Yes.
So that was just a natural way back when we got married to get involved in the racing aspect.
Right.
So
Okay.
again, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Lori's going, okay, well, I can go back and try to find a crew to pit for because I love playing in the mud.
Yeah.
That's just what I knew. I grew up that way, you know. My brother had taught me how to be the best pit crew gal out there, and I loved it. But don't mess with the mechanical stuff. Just, you know, getting all the mud off the car and doing the stuff as far as tear offs on the helmet and running after lineups and all that kind of stuff. That was my gig. And so that was the thing. I was coming back to Knoxville and I was like, oh, I'm not sure where I'm going to fit in. And I was really feeling angst that I knew God had a purpose, didn't know what it was.
Right. Right.
So fast forward, we're out in Salinas, Missouri at Salinas High Bank Nationals in May of 2024. I was actually helping Tanner Holmes out that weekend and his sister because they just needed extra help. And I said, hey, I could come out. Charlie's going to be there working with High Limit as the medic. And hey, I'm coming anyways.
Right. You're going to be there anyway.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I found out more about Racers for Christ.
Okay.
A gentleman that I had met at Chili Bowl that cruised for Sammy Sundell at Chili Bowl didn't know it. He was a chaplain for Racers for Christ.
Okay.
And he happened to be at the High Limit race that night as a chaplain, not a crew guy. So Jackson Whitaker, I forever am grateful for him because he basically gave me a challenge about looking into Racers for Christ and coming alongside and becoming a chaplain. And it was after conversations just that started actually at Chili Bowl, just talking about life and our purpose and where God has us and are we really living out that plan? And then it just continued when we ran into each other in May of 2024.
Yeah. And you know, those are not coincidences.
No, they're not. They're God winks.
They're God winks. That's what you and I call them for sure.
Yeah. So he just left me with that challenge and I felt so convicted. I went home and that year, the very first 3 races of Knoxville's season got rained out. So I literally went into the Racers for Christ website. When you become a chaplain, there's homework to do. They make you do these modules of training before you can even apply to be a chaplain.
Okay.
So because of those rainouts, I literally just sat in front of the computer for hours because I had a couple free nights and just took a chunk each night. And, you know, within those 3 weeks, I had completed all my training. And the next thing I was getting an application, they do a background check. And then
so what are some of the things that they teach you in those modules? What are some things that they're looking for?
Well, basically that as a chaplain, we have lots of responsibilities that, most people see us in the role of doing driver prayer, for instance, at a track, and also doing the invocation, opening ceremony prayers. And a lot of people think that's all we do. Yeah. But in those training modules, we also learn about how to come alongside and disciple somebody, just to be there, to love on them. We say that we provide the spiritual, emotional, and practical needs. Okay. So sometimes I could be walking by a team and see that they are working on a motor and they're trying to get back out on the track in a very quick time, and there's nobody to take the mud off the car. Well, guess what Lori does? She grabs a mud scraper and I go to work. And I've done that. Okay, so that meets that practical need. You know, so again, those are the kinds of things. And then it talks about, you know, how do you respond in a crash environment? And it walks us through training like that. Training just about, you know, confidentiality and what we're allowed to share and not to share. We're under HIPAA guidelines. And, you know, we can even perform funerals. Wow. And some chaplains are ordained that they also are certified to do weddings.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it?
I've done a funeral service, and it was an honor for a young guy I grew up with in Arizona racing midgets. It was his father.
Oh,
They just called me out of the blue last year and said, we don't want a big thing for him. He didn't really want anything, but can you just come and pray over our family and our guests? And I mean, what an honor to be called to do that.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's a huge honor.
Yeah.
So Knoxville gets rained out like a lot of tracks did. They rained out here in Kalamazoo too,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you applied to become a chaplain and
Well, every module I did, I just got that confirmation back.
mm-hmm.
I mean, I prayed through the process, and I really felt like this is where I really feel. Instead of helping one team out,
Yeah.
wherever I go, wherever God decides to put me at any racetrack. And now I'm finding, because of Flo Racing,
Mm-hmm.
like this weekend, I had to take a weekend off to get some things done back here in Iowa before we head out for the rest of the high limit season and get our stuff to Arizona before their season's over. So I'll be online on Flo. Now, there's things that happen at the track, and there might be a chaplain there that's not familiar with the teams,
Mm-hmm.
or our process, and something goes down. I reach out, I send them a note, I call them and I say, hey, or say there's a driver that gets, looks like he might be banged up. I have all the wives and girlfriends, moms, text, phones. So I start texting them and saying, hey, it's Lori. I just want you to know I'm praying for you.
Mm-hmm.
We have a staff, or we have somebody on site. And then I also remind them, especially if it's high limit, that Charlie's there as a medic, and whatever happened, he's in good hands.
Right.
And that is so reassuring. And so,
because they're traveling. So let's go back a minute. We kind of skipped over the fact that you're both working with high limit racing.
Majority.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously their season closes in October. We have other things that we're doing. Yes.
Right. But that's kind of the primary thing you've been doing this year. And so the relationships is what you've built at those tracks. And without that,
right,
they wouldn't be comfortable reaching out to you and asking
Absolutely.
for prayer, because that's a very personal kind of a lot of people would not do that, even if they knew you well. And from what I know about you, Lori, when you told me you were going to volunteer with Racers for Christ, I knew you were where God wanted you to be, because through all of our conversations in the last several years, and you and I both trying to find out where do we fit and what is our role and what should we be doing. This is where you belong. And so the fact that now, even if you're not on site, you can reach out because you've built those relationships. They've given you their phone numbers.
Correct.
You're a friend.
Yes.
More than you're not just a chaplain for Racers for Christ. You're their friend.
Yeah. I'm the person that can fill that gap too, when mom and dad and wife or girlfriend can't be there,
Well, and
it's
they're
the
all
feet on the street.
Yeah, and when they're traveling, how lonely that is if something goes wrong.
Yeah. I mean, now this year has been really, really fun because we started off at Chili Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a week long serving there. I got to work in the staging lanes for 7 days and go pray with drivers, and then go chase down drivers, because we do we call it post-crash checkups. So usually 15 minutes or after, we'll go check on the driver and make sure they're still okay, or the family. If it looks like it's really bad, then I make sure I'm at nearby the crash scene, looking for a crew or family that's there to just be there with them.
Right.
So there's sometimes the timing is immediate, sometimes it's later.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then I also, this year, before we went on the road full time after Nationals, served weekly at Saturday nights at Knoxville Raceway as well, alongside their 2-track chaplains. And then Sundays we would drive up to Houston, which was a 5.5-hour drive every Sunday morning, to work up there as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just high limit.
Yeah.
And we even saw a couple World of Outlaw shows came in to the area that their chaplain reached out and said, hey, you're already there. Why don't you cover for me? Which is
Right.
incredible blessing to be able to help. We're all in the same thing. We all are there to share love.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what logo we have on our shirt.
Right. And the fact that other chaplains reach out to you and say, hey, could you fill in for me? Shows the credibility that you have with them. You know, I wanted to mention that since Chili Bowl, you've served almost 911 hours, and 469 of those is high limit alone.
Right.
And then, of course, Knoxville, and you mentioned Houston. And then you also did a couple tracks in Arizona. So you're spreading the love and the message.
But do you know what's so great about God's world? I don't know if you ever thought about it. It's like, yeah, you might be in Arizona, which this has happened to me. I'm praying at a driver's meeting. A lot of the tracks there's 2 tracks that I serve at. One is Central Arizona Speedway, which mainly runs, I call them adult classes, you know, the sprint cars and the IMC modifieds, those kinds of things. But then we go over to Adobe Mountain Speedway, which is up in Glendale, and that's more of a micro outlaw kart track, right? So I've got youngsters,
right,
7, 8, 9-year-olds that I'm ministering to, and you do that different. But then I'm out, where was I? I was in California or somewhere recently on the swing, and also at Knoxville, obviously, for Nationals. And these young kids from Adobe come by and say, hey, remember me? So God plants you, but he doesn't leave you there.
No.
He'll put those people back in your path again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is who you are, Lori. This is right where you're supposed to be. What's been some of the most rewarding about the position you've had? And this is volunteer, correct?
Yeah. So Racers for Christ started 50 years ago. It's a nonprofit, 501c3. People can make donations to the ministry that bless us all. And and 50 years ago, and to this day, I would say close to 80% of the chaplains that we have, and we have under 400 chaplains US wide, under around 80%. It's a good number that minister to drag racing. Only 20% of us are trying to cover dirt across the whole US.
And they
obviously
don't
we're in need of chaplains.
They don't do asphalt tracks. It's just dirt.
No. I mean, no circle track. They even have an organization called Riders for Christ for people who love car shows.
Okay.
You have chaplains there. They have chaplains at the drag strip. They have
I thought
everything. Okay. I'm just saying in general dirt, because yes, even like where you are in Kalamazoo, I don't know if you have a track chaplain there, but we're finding there's other ministries out in the racing world that are smaller, still effective.
Yes.
And we want to come alongside them as well and support them. Like, I think in February, I was in Volusia helping with the UMP modifieds. And so
do they contact you? How did you end up in Volusia?
Well,
do they contact?
We knew February is, Daytona 500. It's also Charlie and I's anniversary. So we'd like to try to, and when we got married, we went on a Disney cruise out of Florida. So we always like to go to Florida in February for our anniversary. It's something we've just been doing. And if we can mix racing with it, obviously it makes sense. Well, he, through MedStar, where he works as a medic, they were needed in Ocala, Florida, to support some of the USAC races.
Okay.
Which follows right after Volusia.
Yeah.
And then the gentleman that is the minister for the World of Outlaws through Racing with Jesus, Chris, he and I stay in touch. And I just said, hey, we're going to be in Florida. Do you need any help? Oh, by the way, yes. So, a lot of it's just knowing where we're going. I reach out to the chaplains that I know are going to be in that area or the series.
Okay.
And say, hey, I'm going to be there. Do you have somebody covering? If not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of.
And Lori, why don't we hear more about this? Because, there's not a chaplain at Kalamazoo or Galesburg or anywhere that I go.
Yeah,
Um, and, those are small,
sure.
short tracks. But even at that, as much as we're involved in racing, naturally I knew about it. But
Mhm.
a lot of people don't even know that this is out there, or that they
Right,
could reach out for someone, or that they could become a chaplain. Let's
right.
say you become a chaplain in the Kalamazoo area, and you cover Kalamazoo on Friday night and Galesburg on Saturday, or
Sure.
Berlin on
Yeah,
Saturday. So, you know, why do you think we don't know more about it? We need to get the word out that there's a
absolutely.
need.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure why we don't know. I mean, I knew about Racers for Christ probably the time I met you in 2018. I actually was headed to PRI from Phoenix, flying out to Indianapolis. And we were on the airplane. I actually was bringing Taylor Cool out there, which you've met.
Yeah.
She'd never been to PRI, and she had some sponsors that she wanted to go meet in person. And I'm like, come with me, I'll get you plugged in. So lo and behold, we're at the airport, and a gentleman shows up with an RFC shirt on. We
Okay.
chit chat a little bit. Well, it happened to be Eddie Boyer, who's, I guess, our GM or CEO, right? We're run
Yeah.
by a board because we're a nonprofit, but Eddie's the face that everybody sees. And I had met Eddie at a racetrack, but he mainly serves the drag racing world because that's
Okay.
the responsibility. That's where most of our funding comes from, is from
Okay.
donors that are involved in drag racing.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyways, Eddie and I and Taylor were chatting. Well, the next thing you know, we're sitting on the airplane. He walks up and he goes, "Excuse me, I'm sitting in that middle seat." So we
Oh,
had a captive
yeah.
for 3 hour flight, and we learned all about Racers for Christ.
Okay.
But I still, here's the thing: I still left saying, when my friend Jackson back in Missouri last year said to me, "Lori, I think you should look at this. I think this is a good fit for you." I said to him when he walked away from me was, "Yeah, but they won't let women be chaplains." And he turned around and said, "What did you say?" And I told him, I said, "Well, women can't be chaplains because in a church I grew up with, women couldn't hold that kind of a position."
Mm.
And he set me straight. Now, there's few of us,
Yeah.
and especially in the dirt side, there's very, very, very few of us, maybe me and two others. Um, so
Okay.
back to your question. I've been blessed with Flo Racing and the
Mhm.
relationship there that I have built with Tony Laporta. That's our, track MC for everywhere we go with High Limit, and Chase Rodman, that I travel with, right? I get to know those guys.
Mhm.
I've asked, can we have a couple extra seconds here and there in certain markets that we're racing in where we desperately need chaplains? Will you give me an opportunity to say, hey, if you love racing, you love Jesus, we need you?
Yeah.
And they've allowed that a couple times this season.
Mhm. That's good.
So
That's
that
good.
those opportunities, and me in I've become very, I guess, out there on social media, at
Mhm.
least on Facebook. That's the only thing I can keep up with. Just
Right.
sharing stories about how God's working, and I keep tagging Racers for Christ or the other
Yeah.
organizations I support, because
Yeah.
that's the only way
And
we're going to get the word out.
the stories, I mean, you've shared a couple, stories with me about a driver, or the mom or the girlfriend, or different things. And there's some amazing stories of what these families are doing. I'm thinking about Danny,
Yeah,
his family,
right.
and they talk about it on Flow. Um, they took the year off, they're traveling, they're doing all this themselves, though. It's just that family, the mom, dad, and him, as
Yeah, you're
far as
talking
I
about Danny
understand.
Sams, right?
Yeah, Danny
Danny
Sams,
Sams the
the
third.
third. And so when I watch Flow Racing now, who do you think I'm cheering for?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've heard what they're, and then they talked about it too, a few weeks ago, about this family and how they've struggled with different things. And just to know that you can be of some comfort there to them or
Mhm.
help them out or be a friendly smile.
Yeah.
There's just so much to it. It's not just the prayer at the
Right.
beginning of the race. And
No.
that's what people see, but they
Yes.
don't see the behind the scenes.
Yes. So one of the things that actually Charlie and I decided we wanted to do, because this is how we are gifted,
Mhm.
because everybody has spiritual gifts,
Right?
and ours is in giving gifts back, physical things. So
Yeah.
we decided at the beginning of this season, I would try to get all the drivers' wives, girlfriend, moms that are there most every race, phone numbers, birthdays, and all the drivers' birthdays.
Yeah.
So what we do, at least for the regular touring guys and gals that are traveling, families, they get a birthday card and they get cupcakes, and might little be a bag of goodies, snacks, whatever, just to
Mhm.
say, hey, we know life's hard on the road.
Right.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
You guys are our friends,
Yeah.
and just to lift them up again.
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned Danny Sims and his family. Well, I'm wearing red today for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, so today is what they call Red Friday in the military, and it stands for Remember Everyone Deployed.
Okay.
So RFC, when they were formed back, like I said, it was over 50 years ago, they decided that they would honor the military by having Friday night, all of us in red. So wherever we're ministering throughout the United States, most of the time you will see the chaplain on a Friday in a red shirt.
Okay.
Every other day we're in royal blue. That's their color. But we honor them. And we're sitting in a situation right now. Danny's girlfriend, who runs the merchandise trailer at every race, is getting within a very short time. We don't know exactly. It's getting shorter. We know.
Yeah.
Getting deployed.
Oh.
So she's this young, delightful, just smiles, everything. Fans love her. We love her.
Yeah.
And so it's great that Flo allows us, again, to be present in the moment, to bring awareness to our
Mhm.
military, to our vets, and even
Yeah.
our first responders on those Fridays that we race.
Right. Yeah. Lori, this has really blessed you in a lot of ways. And
I
the
get
thing that,
goosebumps, Melinda.
well, the thing that you don't say because of who you are is that even without talking to those people, I know what a blessing you are to them.
Well, I
And
get a blessing back,
I know that. I know you do.
Yeah.
But, and you share about that, but you don't share how important this is to you and all the things yes, you give them a birthday card and cupcakes, but you do a lot more as far
Yeah.
as your words and everything go.
Right.
And those are the things that I think we forget to do on a regular basis, is tell the
Yeah.
people we care about
Yeah.
how we feel. This has been a hard week. We lost a prominent person in the United States was shot,
Yeah.
and we just wonder what the world is
Right.
going to. And yet, we go to, I often think, and it's scary to think about it, and thank goodness it hasn't happened, but I often think about going to a racetrack where there's a lot of people
Anything
and
can happen.
anything could happen.
Anything can happen. I have a life verse that I think brings
Okay.
us all back, and it's Ephesians 2:10, and it says, "For we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God has prepared beforehand that we should walk in them." So isn't that kind of cool? Is that even before we're born, God says, I'm going to make you this beautiful human being. I'm going to put you out there in the world, but I've equipped you, and I've given you a dream, and I've given you a gift.
Yeah. And
Problem is, you can go through all of life not knowing what that gift is and not walking in it. And when you find it, it's like, oh my God, it's so, Jesus, thank you.
So you and I have traveled down that path really
Yes.
a lot together in the last several years, because the thing that I was thinking about is that all of the things that you've done, been exposed to, been a part of, and myself as well, has brought us to where we are today,
That's
and
right.
has prepared us to be a chaplain for Racers for Christ, to do what I do, sharing stories about women in motorsports. And if I look back on my life, which I can do easier than, remembering all the things you've done, I I have an accounting background. I have a newspaper background. I have a lot of things that led me to have the
Right.
um, talents, I guess, to now do a podcast and share women in motorsports. And if you'd have asked me this 20 years ago, I'd have said, "What? You're crazy." I didn't even, well, yeah, 20 years ago, my son was racing.
Yeah.
But prior to that, that would have never been on my radar.
Right.
But God knew.
Absolutely. And I have
Hmm.
seen you walk and work in that. Melinda, you are a blessing to so many people.
Well, as you are, and I think that's why we're kind of like kindred spirits, because we
Well, I mean, in a
have a
way,
lot of the same
yeah, yeah,
same desires for
yeah,
the racing and how we're involved.
yeah. I mean, you are almost a chaplain in a different way. You're a
True.
disciple. You are discipling these women that you and I know when you first started with a lot of the younger women that you're trying to
Yeah.
exposure to, and I know you've branched out, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I don't know how you cover as many as you do.
Well, it's interesting too, the people that cross your path, isn't it? So you were telling me the guy sat in the between you on the plane and different things. So I had a woman reach out to me and offered to be on my podcast, and I'm careful about
Yeah.
who, and so I researched her, and I thought, she's not involved in motorsports, but she'd be a good interview, especially for women.
Yeah.
Where are we, what's our role, all these things. And so I just interviewed her, and I think her podcast just dropped like a few days ago.
Uh-huh.
um Eileen is her first name, and her last name is Noy. I think it's Noye. A
Uh-huh.
wonderful podcast for women.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're in motorsports.
Yeah, right?
The next day, I interviewed a 10-year-old girl, very, very mature and grown up for 10. And at the end, I usually ask, is there anything that I haven't shared that you'd like to share? And she said, I wouldn't be here without God. He leads the way. And I
Oh.
was blown
Oh,
away.
oh.
And
Yeah.
so, you know, he's there, and he's getting the message out
Yes.
more and more by
Right.
putting these people in our path.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I like you asked me what are some of the greatest, I guess, blessings in doing what
Yeah.
I'm doing. It's like you're at a track and next thing you know, your phone goes off and it's a text from a mom or a wife, right? That's watching. And either I've come across the camera or something, or they've seen Charlie roll out on a red or whatever. I get these messages like, I'm so grateful you're there,
Hmm. Yeah.
or hey, I can't be there. Would you please go give my kid a big hug? Because I know he's struggling tonight.
Yeah.
So I walk over and I go, this is from your mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not just the drivers, it's the crew guys we take care of.
Sure.
It's even the officials.
Yeah. Yeah.
There
Or
are
the flow guys. It's
Yeah, they're
it's
our
everybody.
family. They're our
Yeah.
family, and,
Yeah. I
yeah,
just
it's like, like, last week was kind of a big week. We had 3 nights at Port Royal with a high limit, and
Mhm.
it was their fair, and there was lots of people everywhere, and I was standing and staging and working at hot laps. We fist bump all the drivers. It's that one last time that literally we can make eye-to-eye contact in a relaxed environment
Mhm.
before they're in their office
Yeah.
for the night,
Mhm.
and just say, "Hey, we're praying for you. Hey, have a great run." Whatever that fist bump, it's basically an encouraging fist bump. I got done with that. And there was a gentleman that just standing at the back of the staging, and he turned around and he said, "Hey, you're that lady on Flo." And I said, "Well, I'm right here." He goes, "Well, normally I'm not right here." He says, "I have to rely on Flo Racing to watch my racing because," he says, "I'm actually going through cancer treatment."
Oh.
And, he just continued to say, he goes, "When you pray at opening ceremony," he goes, "I can feel God in your words right to me."
Yeah.
And so I spend actually a lot of time most nights before, like next week, I know I'm going to be in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. I'm already asking the Lord, give me what you want those fans to hear,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
My audience is not just the people at the racetrack. My audience are those that are watching online, because sometimes it's thousands more than what are in the ballpark or the racetrack, right?
Well, and you don't know who's getting affected by those
I don't
prayers.
know. And he just was so encouraging and
Yeah.
said, "Thank you. I love your prayers." And that night, actually that 3 days, I had 4 different people come up to me, and one was actually one of the really well-known crew chiefs' father, who is an 81-year-old pastor in the nearby area, and he, again, can't travel because he's got a church he's still pastoring at, and he said, "I quite frankly don't like to travel that much anymore." Again, he says,
Mm-hmm.
"When you're up there praying, I know my kid's covered. I know that somebody is out there with them
Mm-hmm.
that's going to share God's love, because they don't get a chance to come to church."
Yeah.
And it may be a very small window, Melinda, but it's the constant dripping. It's the blessing
Mm-hmm.
for me and Charlie is we've been able to be consistent with a series. And even going back to Knoxville, I was able to be consistent out there, and he was at some point, week after week after week. The relationship
Yeah.
building, the trust.
Yeah.
And I think as a woman chaplain, I'm finding that I'm that mom figure. I'm that comforting figure that they normally would get when they're home.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I have a different effect. I don't know, but it's
Well,
powerful to see how God work.
if you put all the people at the racetrack in a circle, the women are gonna still be few and far between.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
especially in the sprint car world.
Yeah.
There's not a bunch of women out there driving, and
Yeah.
so
Right.
and so the fact that there's a woman that kind of has a position where people can get to know her and people can rely that she's going to be there and all those things is comforting, like a mom, like a
Yeah.
family member.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so I'm loving it.
I know you are.
And
I know you are.
I'm loving it, but I'm like you said before, it's for the first time in so many years that I've been involved. Without a doubt, confirmation after confirmation is exactly where God had prepared me for. It just took too long, I think, but
yeah. Well, it's never
want
our
things quicker.
timing. It's always his timing. Isn't that the truth?
Absolutely.
And, Charlie too, because you couldn't do this if you weren't doing it together. That
No,
would be so hard.
that's correct. And we are so grateful. Currently, right now, Charlie's actually a contract through MedStar Dirt Track Rescue Team, which is out of South Dakota. So he is since August traveling the whole series from California to PA and in between and back and forth in a it's like a dually pickup truck that's fitted for fire equipment. So he's also like providing fire rescue.
Yeah.
Along with the track obviously has their own fire crew at each place we go.
Yeah.
But and so he's out bouncing. Literally, we bounce down the road.
Yeah. But here's the other thing about Charlie. He went to school for 2 years, I want to say.
After retired.
He retired because he was too old to drive an airplane. And so he had the EMT medic kind of background a little bit. Anyway.
Well, he had been a paramedic back in the 70s.
Right. So he went back to school. Now, at 65, I'm not sure I would want to go back to school, but he did that, and he worked really hard to get those, accreditation degrees, etc.,
Right.
so that he could do this. And now the two of you are out on that road. This is what you were meant to do.
Yeah.
I firmly believe.
Together. And remember, you came in to visit the RV that day in the RV park, and they're like, "Where's Charlie?" And I'm like, "Well, he dropped me off with this big old RV, left me in a mobile home park in Arizona."
Yeah.
Own a little place there, which is great. And he went back to Iowa to finish his 2 years of school. I mean, he came back and forth, but it wasn't frequent enough.
Right.
But we made it work. But again,
and it was short term.
It was short term.
You knew the goal.
But again, the way he operates and the gift God gave him was, if he's going to be of service, he's going to be the best of the best.
Yeah.
And he takes pride in that.
Right.
Which is also comforting to these drivers and the families and even the series or the track, wherever he ends up.
Yeah.
Is that they know they've got a professional on hand that's going to deliver.
Yeah.
And so, it's, he gets to them, if there's a red, there's a crash, he's on the track first. I'm back waiting.
Yeah.
So he takes care of them there. I do the follow-up.
It's a team.
And then there's sometimes where, the guy's okay when Charlie's talking to him or the gal. I go back, do my post-crash check, and it's like, you don't look so well.
Yeah. Well, because sometimes the adrenaline takes over, and then when you sit back or you start to think about what could have been or what, and then everything kind of falls apart.
Yeah. So then there's been a few times we get I usually try to leave my business card if it's someone I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the regulars have my phone number, and I just say, if things change, let me know, and we'll make sure we get someone over the chair to you to reanalyze you.
Right. Lori, I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I just, like I said, when you told me this is what you were going to do, I was just like, yep, that's where she needs to be. That's exactly who she is. And so I'm glad we could tell your story a little bit today.
Thank you. And like you said, the organization, we are all volunteers.
Yeah.
Those hours that you read off,
those are real hours.
Those also do include the time I need to travel, whether it's by car or have to fly to a race. We can include those hours. At the end of the year, they'll send out certificates and thank us for our time, but we don't get paid. I mean, our hotel bill alone is $8,000 that coming out of our pocket.
Right.
And
so how is there a way that people could donate or help?
Well, yeah. I mean, if people, so again, because of the nonprofits, folks can get a tax donation write-off, and there's actually a QR code I've put out on my
We'll
Facebook
put it
page.
out we'll put it in the show notes.
If you want to put it out there, right?
Yeah,
so you could go to teamrfc.org, Region 5, because all my personal funding comes out of Region 5. Okay. And there's a place on there to say donate, and then in the there's a note section that says optional. You just put in for Lori Cutter. If you're working with any chaplain, though, find out what region they're in, and you can send in a gift in that honor. Or, a lot of times we just make general fund donations to Racers in Christ. And that general fund is used to buy the Bibles that we hand out. We have paperback Bibles, a full Bible we take to the track and have with us that we can give for free.
So do they have any kind of like ongoing fundraiser, or it's just donations? I mean, do they sell anything?
Merchandise online you can purchase twice a year. They have a golf tournament that's a fundraiser, and I'm not sure. I think that's in the early fall.
Be on the website.
And then we just finished actually an online auction where people just donate items, and you can go on for a period of a week and be part of the online silent auction and do that too. But most of it's, donations through sponsorships.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So again, at the end of the day, we'd be doing this anyways.
I know you would.
I
It's
mean, we
not
are
about
doing
the
this
money.
anyways. It's just we've decided that we would allocate a small portion of our family budget to make sure I can stay on the road with Charlie.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets a small salary per race that he works, and it helps,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything that we missed or that we should have talked about, Lori? I mean, we could have talked about a
Oh,
lot
no.
more, but
No, I mean, I'm just
we'll have
looking over
to
my
do it
list,
again.
of things that and I sent you a document if you want to share that online too.
I will.
It has my code on it, but it also lists what does the chaplain do. I have my
Yep.
roles listed there.
Yep.
Because we even do hospital visits, prayerfully we don't need to do those often, but it could be a family member that's having
Sure.
surgery in the middle of the week that a chaplain will go
Yeah.
take care of a
Yeah. We'll share
situation.
that as
Yeah.
well in the show notes so that they have that. And I just encourage anybody that's listening, if you really want to help in a way that's tangible to racers when they're traveling and on the road, this is a great organization. I mean, I know we hear, oh, when you donate to such and such, it all goes to the whoever. It doesn't help the racers. In this case, it's helping the people on the
Absolutely.
track
I
and
mean,
at
we
the track.
physically see it, yes, and we're so
Yeah,
blessed by it.
right.
And then if anybody's listening that, just feels a tug at their heart, like,
Yeah,
hey, I think I'd like to look into this. I just encourage them to go again to teamrfc.org and look at, there's a link there. What does a chaplain do? And
yeah,
they can even just start the process if they feel led.
right.
Again,
I
whatever motorsports you're involved in, there's a place to get plugged in, including those that love car shows.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a need, that's for sure, and
Yeah.
every day that goes by, the need I think is larger. So we
Right.
need to do that.
Right.
Well, Lori, I love you. You're one
I
of
love
my
too.
you're one of my best race friends ever.
I
So
know we just don't get a chance to get
we
together
don't
much
we
anymore.
don't get to hang out as much as we used to, but
Mhm.
I can see you. You just can't see me because I'm on Flo Racing and I watch High Limit all the time now. And I try to make sure that I'm always on so that I can see you give the prayer. And then Charlie's usually standing right back behind you somewhere. So
Somewhere.
yeah, so I usually get to see him too. And I see
Mm.
you. You just can't see me, but
Well, it's
I
nice
know
to
you're a
know.
blessing.
It always warms my heart when I get a text from someone ahead of time saying, "I'm watching tonight,"
Yeah,
because, I want those prayers to be.
there's a bug flying around my
Oh,
face.
yeah. I want those prayers to, be heartfelt, come from God.
Yeah,
And when I know, yeah,
yeah,
I mean, there's
absolutely.
moms I've prayed for and just different things like that and wives and stuff because I know their guys are out and they're
Yeah.
struggling. So those prayers get a little personal.
Yeah, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about for sure. Well,
Well,
Lori,
before we leave,
uh-huh.
I would love to just close in a prayer with us.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Are you done? Do you
I'm
have any
done.
others?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, Jesus, we just come to you right now, Lord, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity that you've given me to even meet Melinda years ago, and I just asked for a special blessing and a calling on her life as she continues to reach out to women across the United States and even into Canada and wherever else these women that she finds. Lord God, just give her those pathways, continue to bless her and all her work because we need to get the word out and just make the world know about all these young ladies throughout the world basically. And we are grateful for what Melinda's doing to expose them, God. And Lord, yeah, it's a great honor to be here today with her, my friend. And yeah, it's Friday. Yeah. And we just want to lift up our military, God. We want to lift up all those that are already deployed, Lord, and just strengthen them and refresh them wherever they're serving, keep them safe. And Lord, just bring them back home safely, God. That's what we really pray for. And we just pray for an awakening in this country, Lord, that we just find you, find love, and just come alongside of each other. If we all could just find somebody to lift up each day, that would just be so great, God. And Lord, yeah, we also want to lift up those that are getting ready to go, that have their bags packed, their orders coming, and that are going to protect our country, Lord. We know you'll keep them safe, God. So tonight, Lord, Friday night racing probably everywhere in the U.S., in Canada, and Australia, and there's just places I've never heard of that has racing, but Lord, you know they are. I just ask that you will keep those tracks safe. We keep our drivers incredibly safe each and every time they go out on the track and they come back in. Lord, just be with the crews and give them the wisdoms that they need to get those cars set up correctly, God. And again, we just thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to even gather at a racetrack and have fun and just be great sportsmen and go out there and compete. And that all comes from you, Jesus. And we give you thanks and glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I'm sorry, I'm crying, guys, but
beautiful.
I get really
it's
emotional.
heartfelt. It's heartfelt, that's for sure. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So,
okay.
Lori, you hang on, and we'll all get with you as soon as I end the
Good
recording.
night, everyone. God bless.
That's it for this episode of the Women's Motorsports Network podcast. We hope you've been inspired by the stories I shared today and feel more connected to the amazing community of women in motorsports. Remember, whether you're behind the wheel, in the pits, or cheering from the stands, your story matters. And together, we're driving change and celebrating every milestone. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who loves motorsports as much as you do. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for updates, behind the scenes content, and more incredible stories. So until next time, stay inspired, stay connected, and keep racing through life. This is the Women's Motorsports Network podcast, where every woman's story is worth celebrating.